Hello, everyone. Jessica Peterson here and Yvonne A. Jones with Moving Ahead Inner Circle Community. And I am very excited, Dr. Dylaan, to have you as one of our first guests. And the reason why I've selected you as one of our first guests is, one, I very much valued our heart-to-heart conversation we had as I was working on my second TEDx speech. And you just have so much amazing information to give to the world. I love it. I absolutely love it. So thank you for being here.
Sure. Thank you for having me. That's great to be here and share some ideas together.
Absolutely. So Dr. Dylaan, can you please share with us a little bit about who you are and what success you have had in life?
My name is Dylaan Dolati, and just a little bit about my name. Is not Dylan. Is Dylaan. It's Kurdish, means happiness, and my last name Dolati is from the nickname of my great-great-grandma, means wealthy.
Wow!
Yeah. So this is my name, but who am I? That's my identity, actually. And in many coaching program or live event, I share this idea with people. Who are you? Or who am I? That's my identity. And I'm a success story. I have had many failures, but I'm a success story. Mm-hmm. And I have had success in any aspects of life. And I'm very proud of that.
I remember, Dr. Dylaan, when you and I had that conversation that you were a doctor overseas and then you came to the United States and you had to pretty much start all over. And you're a retired neurosurgeon for children. Is that correct? In pediatrics?
One of my rotations was in neurosurgery, and a technique I invented in neurosurgery, it was in children's hospital.
Okay.
It was based on a pediatric case, but I have subspecialty in neurocritical care.
Wow. And so you're a prime example, as anybody in our inner circle sees. You know, I've encountered a lot this past year, and people kept asking, how can you still keep growing your business and have success? And I know, Yvonne, you've encountered challenges as well and have been asked the same thing. So Yvonne and I came up with, you know, the 7 essential steps to keep moving ahead to success. And so Dr. Dylaan, what would you say has helped you move ahead through different challenges you've had in your life?
Believing in myself and believing in my service. That's like believing in my purpose, my main goal or ultimate goal in my life, to give service to people, to help people to realize their potentials and help them to bring it out to the surface and then act upon it. That's what actually keep me moving. And as I said, I have had many difficult time in business or personal life, but always I overcome with the difficulties, with the challenges. And I like challenge. It helps me actually to bring my full potential up to the surface. And it helps me to grow more and more.
And Dr. Dylaan, may I ask a question?
Sure.
You mentioned you've had many challenges and in your life and your business.
Yes.
Now, people remember stories.
Yes.
Is there one particular event that you would share with our listeners that they can remember, and perhaps they're encountering something similar that they can apply that to?
Sure. One of the most memorable stories that I have, it was in end of 2011 to 2012 that I got a very good opportunity overseas as a medical director. And when I went there, it was for a healthcare providing company. Their wish was to help American companies and American clients and Western countries in general, Western companies, they were working in that area. and it was North Kurdistan, north of Iraq. I got there, and we did some negotiation at the beginning to see what can I do, how can I help them. And they had only 4 small clients, drilling companies, and they told me they want me as a medical director. But because I'm in business also, and I love business, I love the business side of medicine as well. So I talked to them and I said, okay, I can help you in that area also. So I became a medical director and ICU director. And when I started working with them, I realized actually the ICU they had, it was not even near standard to provide the service to American clients. So that was very challenging to bring up the medical department to standard level, to an international level, world class, and to overcome with the business challenge they had. So I started with writing protocols for ICU and the hospital, and training the intensivists that I had at that time. Well, I was medical director, so I got like about, at that time when I started, about 5-6 doctors, but later on at the end of the year, I had 20 doctors under me with a big team of nurses. So I trained them, and the gross income of this company at that time when I got there was $200,000 a year. In 11 months, I took it up to $2 million net income.
Wow.
So when I brought this up, they were very happy, and I was kind of business partner, but because I got some shares also from the company besides working for them. But that was a very success story. It was like the most successful thing happened in that area, because they were competing against other companies, and the other companies, the other healthcare providers, and they had a medical background this company didn't have, and they had more experience in that field. But that was very successful story for me and for the company.
Great, thank you for sharing that. So that was both a challenge and a success right there.
Yes.
Awesome, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Dylaan. So how did you come upon being a coach for people and empowering them, like you said, to fulfill their dreams? And what I really like, you and I had that conversation, most people don't fulfill their goals. They have the New Year resolutions and they don't follow through. So we'll dive into more a little bit later for our private members into detail how to fix that. So can you please share with us how you came upon this and why people are stuck or have this issue?
Sure. I had 2 turning points in my life. I have had many challenges and many turning points, but 2 of them were very important in making a decision to help people and coach people. One of them was when I was in Children's Hospital, I got a patient with a rare disease. It's called osteopetrosis. And that patient, 11-month-old boy, was about to die, and there was no any other treatment for him. And the parents, when they came to the clinic in neurosurgery department, they said they came for second opinion because everybody else said there is no any more treatment. They cannot do anything about it. And osteopetrosis is, let me explain it a little bit in like a plain and simple language. Is about the skull. In childhood, the skull has like sutures and soft spots. And in osteopetrosis, abnormally, those sutures and spots get closed very early in childhood. So when the skull is a closed box, there is no room for brain to grow. And the pressure inside the brain goes up and the patient will die. So I said, okay, this is a challenge, so let's face it. So I came up with a new idea with distractors that orthopedic doctors actually use them for elongation of the long bones. So I said, if we can cut the skull and put these distractors around it and prevent the fusion again for like 3 weeks, maybe we can give enough room for brain to breathe and grow. And I talked to one of my professors at that time, Dr. Winston, and we came up with this technique and talked to the parents, and they said, it's good. So we did it, and we saved the patient. The patient was growing. I was in contact with them for 5 years after that, and the patient was growing very well. That was one turning point. That at that point, I said, if I can open this box, this closed box, and give room to brain, how about if I open the box, the closed box of people's life, and help them to grow their mind? Because mind and brain are different. I know many people, when I talk about mind, they mention brain. However, the two different things, actually. Mind is the energy. Mind is the software of our being, of our computer. Brain is the hardware. That's how I look at it. That was my first turning point to get in coaching and teaching mind. And when I was in neurocritical care, at that time also, there was another turning point. Because many of my patients, they were in coma, and many of them because of the brain injury. Brain injury could be from trauma, from car accident, or brain tumor, or any other diseases that put the brain in a critical situation. And people, the patients in ICU, in neuro ICU, many of them are in coma. So I had to talk to the family members, to friends, and I realized many people are in life coma. So I said, yes, I am giving service to patients in brain coma because of the brain injury. How about if I expand my service to more people and help them to get out of the life coma and help them to grow their mind and realize their potential. And that's how I got in coaching program. At that time, I was doing actually both of them. I quit medicine just 2 years ago. And then overseas, when I was working as a medical director and ICU director, at that time, I helped everyone, not only in the business, in life also. And one day, one of my intensives, one of my doctors called me, "Coach, I need your help." It was interesting to me because when he said so, I'm like, this is interesting. I said, why you called me coach? Because every time they call me Dr. Dylaan or Dr. D. And he said, because you have changed the life of everyone in this company. And I have a problem with my life and I need your help. So from that time, actually, I officially started coaching.
Awesome.
I really like that story. It makes perfect sense. Thank you for sharing it. It makes sense how you've come to where you're at today. So let's talk about goals. Everybody sets the New Year's resolution or the goals. And then the failure, I think, is what, 92%? Oh, I was thinking 93. Okay, 92%. So why is that, Dr. Dylaan?
Why is the failure, or why we are doing New Year resolutions? Or both?
Failure.
Failure. Because it goes back actually to our mind programming. Because our mind is programmed from childhood and later on in school. And whenever we get some ideas, interestingly, the negative ideas go to the subconscious mind immediately because the gravity is there, because we have been taught from childhood to have more negative ideas, negative things in life than thinking positive, than turning around. And why New Year resolutions? Because I think we have tendency to start something with the beginning of something else, and that is procrastination, which is the opposite side of the coin of success. Because if we of decision, sorry, because when we decide firmly on something, we do not procrastinate anymore. We do not postpone it. We start right away. But we always wait for something else, and usually it is at the beginning of the week, the beginning of the month, or the year. But the failure is because of the that default program in our subconscious mind. And when I talk about subconscious mind, obviously it's unconscious or subconscious. We're not aware of that, but we have this default program to go back to that default program, to whatever is programmed in our mind. Let me give you an example. I give you two examples actually to make it more clear. One of them is very simple: the thermostat in your home. So when you have a set point on your thermostat, when the temperature is going up or down, the thermostat kick in, and based on the situation, either turn on the air conditioner or turn on the furnace to bring that temperature back to the set point. And this is a very simple example. However, our mind actually is more complicated than this thermostat. So let's say an airplane want to go from Denver to your place, to Florida, okay? And after a certain height, the pilot gives the program to the other pilot. And this other pilot take over and has this plotted course in that other pilot. Whenever the airplane knocks off the way by whatever reason, maybe wind or turbulence or air bump, whatever, that's deviation from the standard, from the set point, will be picked up by the coordinating system and then make some adjustment to the wings and engine and everywhere in the plane that they are responsible for that plotted course. So they bring back the airplane to the plotted course. Or like GPS, when you use GPS and you miss a turn or somewhere, it reroutes, and then it says, okay, you need to go back to this plotted course. So this coordinating system is in our subconscious mind. This is programmed. So whenever we deviate from that plotted course, from that set point, we go back again to the same program. For example, if a salesman get excited on New Year and say, okay, this is my New Year resolution to make $1 million this year. And the first couple of months, he or she goes out and make a lot of sales. And let's say the first 2 months, he or she makes like $300,000 sales. And now, if this program has not been changed consciously and is accepted by subconscious mind, this person goes back again to the set point. So for next few months, doesn't do anything. And then the results at the end of the year, it becomes again the same as the year before. And that's why we have 92% failure of the New Year resolutions, or like goal setting, because actually New Year resolutions are our goals for that year.
I really like how you put it so simple in both those illustrations. What do you think, Yvonne?
Yeah, great analogies. They really simplify the matter, and it highlights the importance of the subconscious, because it's really, in both your illustrations, it's going back. We haven't changed our subconscious consciously. We haven't made a conscious decision. So we're kind of just operating on the top level initially. And then eventually, if we don't maintain that, then we're going to go right back to our subconscious. So
Yeah.
that's very good.
Yeah, that's true. For any decision, consciously we should decide, and then through practice and repetition, we can implement that idea or implant that idea from conscious mind to subconscious mind. Mm-hmm. And what we act upon our emotion in our subconscious mind. I know we think logically in conscious level, but when we act upon something, we act upon our emotion. We act upon our habits. That's why it's very important to change that default program from the failure habits to success habits. Then that person will be successful.
We actually spoke about that subject the other day, and my friend who wrote Rich Habits and the power of habits and how the rich have the same habits. We talked about that the other day. So Dr. Dylaan, I did have some questions wrote in, and before we take our break, I know afterwards we're going to go ahead and discuss how to fix that, alter that. I know for myself, and we can continue the conversation just a moment. I've had the EVOX emotion, and that was powerful. I used to have the fear of speaking, and I kept getting all these speaking engagements, and which may be some people's dream. So it was very powerful and turned that around for me. But here are some of the questions that were written in. Is someone said, I find the fact that habits are actually chemical responses in the brain. They're interesting and not just addictions. I'm referring to other things like maybe the way we respond in certain situations based on learned behavior. All of this can be changed from not just a behavioral standpoint, but actually with the connections in our brains. It's fascinating. It puts a new twist on mind over matter. So they're very intrigued to hear more about this. Another one said, how can you keep your brain healthy and focused? That's a good one. I also had someone else go ahead and ask, how do you, maintain, like you mentioned that great example, Dr. Dylaan, of the salesperson who started on the track, but then they reverted back. How do you keep growing and progressing, whatever your goals may be? So we will go ahead and just take a quick break, and we'll come back and talk about that.
Sure.